Bring in John Wu, president of Ava Labs, for some perspective. John, I don't know if you heard Eric, but he kind of alluded to the call is coming from inside the house, that maybe those in the crypto community are the ones using it as an excuse to sell. Because you're so plugged into that community, what has been the chatter now that we are a little bit removed from the momentous event?
Well, he's right. There was definitely some sell to news, but I don't know if he said this earlier because I just tuned in. But, you know, the FTX bankruptcy estate sales, those have been happening at the same time. You also have Mt. Gox BTC that was distributed recently. This is from 2014 being distributed just now. So people looking at on-chain data, they've seen like roughly close to $2 billion of net selling to override some of the increase in demand. But I think anyone focused just on this short term is really missing the medium and longer term trends. I mean, reality is there's fundamental things happening. Operating momentum is happening in this space. Halving is coming. And frankly, you know, Larry Fink is already talking about ETH ETF spot already. So, and other assets will also. So before they even have really marketed the BTC spot ETF. So a lot of demand will come. It's going to happen over time. And I can't wait for that. And from our perspective as an operator, we're definitely seeing more operating momentum with partners wanting to create function on top of the blockchain stack.
So you mentioned that halving, and I feel like for people who are not native to crypto or are still new to it, don't understand that event. It's basically if you're a miner, the amount of Bitcoin reward you get gets cut in half, and that's a function of how Bitcoin operates in order to limit supply, right, ultimately to 21 million. Why is that a bullish event?
So effectively, it makes it harder to get a reward. So it disincentivizes miners to create new supply. So there will be more of a supply-demand imbalance. Come April or May, when there's more marketing and advertising and more distribution for these ETFs, that's going to be on the demand side pressure to help boost things. But on the supply side, the rewards associated with it will decrease. So as a miner, you have less incentive to create new Bitcoin or mine Bitcoin, if you will. And we've gotten to the point where the cost for mining is a scale game. So people have said you need about a 50,000 BTC price in order to break even. And I think this going down, meaning the BTC going down recently, also affects the miners. So therefore they probably, may even had to sell some, creating short-term supply to the market, if you will.
I want to talk about what you said about, floating the idea of an ETH ETF. It is kind of a different beast, though, in terms of the path. Do you expect that it would be that you can just kind of copy and paste the blueprint to get Bitcoin ETF approved, or will the ETH ETF approval be a little bit clunkier because, it's a totally different protocol?
Well, I think it will be, I wouldn't say it's clunkier because the BTC ETF has been pretty clunky. It's been years in the making. So from that perspective, you take it holistically, possible ETH spot, Ethereum spot ETF, that's like a tongue twister there, by the way, will probably be easier. And keep in mind, the champions for this is people like BlackRock and Fidelity. We've seen new leadership and new endorsement from well-known figures in traditional finance. I think that will make it actually easier than Bitcoin had to do it.
What did this do in terms of, generate interest from the fundraising community? A lot of projects, as much as they shun traditional finance, do often rely on them to fund some of their growth ambitions if they don't have a token or they're not yet at that level. Can you speak to where that community is in funding some of these ventures such as yourself?
The traditional VCs who crossed over and funded during the bull market of 2020 and 2021, if you will, probably stepped aside. The deep crypto VCs were always in there and are still there. I think to get the crossover VCs back in, it'll take some time. But as they see the demand come through, as they see the new leadership and the new endorsements from people that they are very familiar with, you are going to see more activity from the venture community. More importantly, their portfolio companies in their venture funds are actually coming to places like Ava Labs and trying to ask us to help them use the blockchain, the Avalanche blockchain, to be part of their technology stack to create business use cases, whether it be a gaming company or a big brand wanting to do what they call Fi digital, associating a digital aspect to a physical good, or traditional finance that wants to have easier settlement and transfer of value.